What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So, in preparation for Oregon State, Jonathan Smith had some things to say about Colorado's offense, their defense, and just Colorado in general. And playing in Colorado, there is an interesting fact about playing in Colorado for the Oregon State Beavers that I had no idea about. So you don't want to go anywhere because it is an interesting one. Before we get into that, somebody asked him about the offensive line of Colorado, and is he concerned about it? How does he feel his defense can handle that? Very great question, especially with all of the drama surrounding Coach Prime and his comments about the offensive line and being able to protect Shedeur Sanders. So take a listen to what Jonathan Smith, the head coach of the Oregon State Beavers, had to say, and then we'll talk about it.
In Colorado, obviously, early in the season, a lot of attention, some good results. Struggled lately. What do you see just on film when you just look at the team?
I think that team battles, and I don't go to the extent of struggling. This league is tough and competitive. They have been competitive throughout, dramatically different than, let's face it, last year. And so this is a good football team. They can score in bunches. One of the best quarterbacks we're going to play. Defensively flying around. The home atmosphere that they've created, you could just see it on tape. It's a tough place.
Shedeur has been the most sacked quarterback this year right now in college football. What do you see on the Colorado offensive line that you think your defensive line can really take advantage of this coming weekend?
Well, what I see is the quarterback, they spread you out and he makes you pay. I mean, the ball can come out quick. They just coming off a game where they're playing a really good, we faced a defensive line at UCLA. They make a lot of people struggle with some of the talent they've got. And so these guys are solid on offense, man. And this guy is a tough, accurate, athletic, competitive quarterback that we're facing.
First thing he does is compliment the team of Colorado and where they've come from last year. That's something that I've talked about time and time again. It's like this team was a one winning football team last year, and what they are. There's somebody on your schedule now that you got to circle, you got to pay attention to. Colorado was somebody you could just sleep by last year, but now it's like, hey, I got to go into Colorado, and this is going to be an absolute dogfight. They've been competitive in almost every game they've played in, just about, except that Oregon game, which Coach Prime even made it like that's the only game that they felt they really truly got beat, that they never had an opportunity to win. But every other game, they've had a chance, they've had an opportunity. And look, that UCLA defensive line and just defense in general, I keep saying it, it's a top 10 defense. It is no joke. So yes, the offensive line looked more atrocious than it has been, but those twins on that D-line for UCLA is something else. And he commented to that as well. He handled it very well, saying, look, that D-line is no joke. I'm not going to even bite that trap. Like, yeah, their offensive line sucks. And then turned it into complimenting Shedeur Sanders and his ability. And look, everybody knows it. That is the best player on the football field at the moment. And that guy can make things happen. He can spread the football field out. And that is going to be the biggest point of emphasis. And look, if you know that going into the football game, this is why Colorado needs to be able to block, needs to be able to run the ball a little bit more, because right now everybody knows where the ball is going to go. And think about that. Everyone knows Shedeur is throwing the football. Everybody knows that Shedeur is going to be making a play, whether it's on his feet, escaping, scrambling, and they still can't stop. Imagine if he had some time to get it to think through what he was going to do, or if he had a healthy run game that complemented his pass game. Listen, I'm rambling a little bit, but my goodness, things could really heat up. Then they asked him about defensively, what they think they can do, and kind of talked about Travis Hunter a little bit. Take a listen about that.
Coach, so much talk about how potent Colorado is offensively, but Travis Hunter made two plays that Chip Kelly raved about. And he said those are just big-time plays. They took it away 4 times.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you see in Travis defensively and their defense overall.
Yeah, he's a gifted player, no question, but instinctive, really smart, understands the coverage. I think one of them is sitting there in a cloud corner and he's jumping an inside route, baiting the quarterback the second time with his length, got great ball skills. And they do. They caused 4 turnovers in the first half against UCLA. That's where I'm back to. This is a good team, competitive, and these games are tough. There's good teams across the board. And so they've been in the thick of about every game they played.
Again, complimenting Travis Hunter and just his athletic ability, his football smarts. I don't know if you noticed something here, but he talked about the 2 plays where Travis Hunter made a big moment, how he tricked the quarterback. Coach been watching the film. That's what that's telling me. He's dialed in. He completely understands and has been talking to his guys about the impact that Travis Hunter is going to have on the game. And look, that's fantastic. You have somebody that is a massive threat. And if I'm Colorado, I'm taking a look. Look, guys, he's got them distracted. You've got Shedeur on one side of the ball and Travis Hunter on the other side of the ball, distracting them. These guys are pulling a lot of attention for the other teams right now. The rest of y'all got to step up. right? It's opening the doors for the rest of you to flourish, to have great games, because you've got somebody on both sides of the ball that is just so potent offensively and defensively that you have to respect it. No matter how good that team may be, those two guys make an impact. Just like Travis did in the first half last week against UCLA with the picks. They had obviously 4 turnovers. That's massive. That defense was thriving last week in Colorado, and they know it. That's why they asked him about it. And again, massive compliments. Obviously, Chip Kelly had a lot of compliments to Shador and Travis Hunter. Those guys are getting a lot of talk about because of how much impact they have. This should be a true weapon for the rest of the Colorado team to go, look, we got some dogs out here. Let's all be in unison. Let's step up. Here's one last little tidbit that blew my mind. Look, it's crazy to me because obviously with all the injuries that have been happening, I'm wondering if this is going to be a change, especially with them leaving the Pac-12, if this is going to be something that changes for them. I don't want to ruin it. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Well, what's unique, this will be the only game we're going to play on grass on our schedule, and so that's a little bit different. We've played a night game, I think, when we were at UW, and the place was jumping pretty good. So we're expecting a raucous, tough crowd.
The only game that you played all year on grass? How much of an advantage or disadvantage is that to some? I don't know. I know with the turf, obviously, there's been a lot of injuries, especially in the NFL, and people are trying to basically get rid of it. I would imagine that there's probably a bigger advantage, I would say, going from grass to turf because you really don't play on turf too often. Obviously, growing up, all you do is play on grass. Yeah, I would imagine you're a little more, you're faster on grass. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play a factor into this game, but that's something that's huge, right? Think about tennis. You're used to playing on clay, and now you're going to hard courts. There's a difference there. And I know Oregon State, their field is obviously turf, given the fact that they haven't played. So you look at something small. You're going to be on the road. It's going to be at night. It's going to be freezing cold. And now you're also playing on grass, which it seems crazy to think that grass is the outlier here. But for a team like Oregon State that hasn't played on grass all year, could be. Now, I'm sure their practice field probably is on grass. I'm probably thinking too much into it. I just thought it was an interesting fact that they haven't played on grass this entire year. But should be a good one, boys and girls. Let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about this game this weekend? I want a score prediction from all of you guys. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.